Okay, welcome back from that short break, and here we are talking about digitizing Nigerian's tax landscape. The Federal Land Revenue Service is at the aim of digital revolution, poised to reshape the Nigerian tax administration system. Electronic invoicing is what they are bringing. The key element of this transformation promise enhanced transparency, efficiency, and improved revenue collection system. However, it is also introducing a new set of requirements and implications that Nigerian business must navigate with diligence. Meanwhile, a deep understanding of this nuance is critical, not just for ensuring compliance, but for us to be able to understand how we are going to harness the significant potential benefit of this modernized approach of invoicing offer through tax digitization. Joining me right now is Bamgboye Adeniyi Emmanuel, Managing Partner at Empyrean Professional Service, Lagos. Very good day to have you on the show, Mr. Bamgboye.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. So welcome to the show. So let's get the ball set for this discussion. First and foremost, there's a raging issues around the 5% fuel surcharge, tax. What's your take on that as a tax expert?
It's not the surcharge. The 5% surcharge is not really a new thing. And if we can cast our mind back to the FEMA Act, it's already there. But what the Presidential Tax Committee is trying to do is to bring it back into the new Tax Act. So it's really not a new thing. We've been on it has been in existence, but the issue is that it has not been implemented. So due to it's a 5% charge that is added to the cost of doing business, particularly the ones that impact reliance on transportation. So the revenue from these taxes will be used for road repairs and maintenance. So while but on the other hand, while it is a very good way of boosting government revenue, I think there is a need to ensure that there shouldn't be a disparity or disproportionately burden. There mustn't be a disproportionate burden on businesses and consumers on the part of the government. Transparency, accountability in how the funds are being used is very, very important. Personally, this is my own personal opinion. I think that should be stepped down because the Nigerian citizen and the business environment has been, let me use the word in inverted commas, blessed with plethora of taxes. So I think in the best interest of the country and in the best interest of the ease of doing business, I think they should step this down and wait, and let's see how the implementation of the tax act will come out on 1st December 2026. That's my own opinion.
Exactly, very interesting. But let me also have your reaction on the tax identification number and the opening of bank accounts. What do you have to say about that? Although there have been a little bit of clarification, but that clarification needs to be advocated in a way that people need to understand. But first and foremost, let's have your say around that TIN number and bank account opening.
No, the thing is not, for me, the thing is not a new thing. But only that what is required now, because every business, either a limited liability company, a partnership, or a business name, so far you're a business, or even NGOs, not-for-profit organization, either no matter your status, your legal status, you are required to have a team. But what the new tax act is saying that is extending it to individuals who don't have team and tax identification. So that's only and they've said they issued a communique. The committee issued a communique to, I think, last week, saying that there will be no need for us reinventing the wheel. So what we have to do is that if you have your NIN, that can also serve as your thing. So because if you start telling people to start, because I wonder how the banks will be able to cope with that. Imagine the banks now putting a lien on everyone's account. It will just be like We are just it will just be similar to when there was Naira scarcity
Mm.
and everything will go upside down.
Mm.
So I believe there is already a systemic way of going about it without putting the system under undue tension.
Mm.
So it's not really the thing issue is not really a new thing. If you are a business owner or if you are a business owner, it is compulsory you have a TIN because that identification number will serve as a way of identifying you
Mm.
till as far as that business exists.
Exactly. Interesting from you. But let's now get down to the main topic of discussion or main focus of our discussion. I'm talking about digitizing Nigerian tax landscape. Bamgboye, help us to understand this. I read one of your article, trying to explain some of these things, what it really contains, following what Federal Inland Revenue is about to do or is already doing. But from your own perspective, help our viewers to understand digitizing Nigerian tax landscape, what it really entails. Help us to understand that, sir.
So we will digitizing our landscape is not really a new thing.
Mm.
It has been done severally, and this is not the first time we will digitalize.
Mm.
At least if you've gone at the days where you have to you have to walk physically to the tax office, maybe to the Federal Inland Revenue office with papers, historical documents, just all in the name of filing.
Mm.
So we have even before now we have the tax pro max,
Mm.
which is used by the FR. So that itself is a form of digitalization.
Mm.
And what is going on now, the in thing now is the e-invoicing,
Mm.
which is focused on large taxpayers.
Mm.
Well, I mean, when I say large taxpayers, I mean companies with turnover of over 5 billion naira.
Mm.
So what the e-invoicing is talking about in essence is that it's just a transition from your manual invoicing to the digital way. So instead of you raising your invoice manually, the FRS wants to see it nano real time, if not real time.
Mm.
So once you are raising your invoices, the FRS at their office, FRS at their office will be able to see those invoices immediately, and from there it will be very easy for them to be able to charge VAT and withholding tax as appropriate, depending on the nature of the transaction. So the bottom line of this is that the government wants to increase tax collection and bring a lot of companies into tax net, and this will also reduce it will strengthen the audit too because there will be no need.
Mm.
Although it is a two-way conversation, I might say it brings every business under more scrutiny,
Mm.
but they can really do their audit online real time. They can check it
Mm.
instead of companies waiting for the FRS to come maybe after the year end, after 2 3 years, when all those documents will have been historical. So what I'm trying to say now is that the e-invoicing particularly it's just a transformation. It's simply a transformation from paper invoicing to digital invoicing. Nothing serious. And as you read, the FRS now has in order to ensure integration, full integration and seamless integration, they've delegated this to other service provider because this is a tech thing.
Mm.
And for every organization to be able to tap into this, you must be tech savvy and you must be able to fully integrate into the FRS system. I think because of time, I will have to leave that one. Let me leave it here.
Talking about leaving it, I won't allow you to leave it because our viewers will also want to know the opportunities in this e-invoicing you are talking about. Although you have mentioned one or two, but what are the other opportunities that will become the benefit of having this kind of system in place in the Nigerian tax landscape?
Okay, for businesses, I think it's like I said earlier, it reduces costs.
Mm.
For business, one of the advantages of this is that it reduces cost of printing. Paper printing, faster payment cycles. It increases accuracy because by the time you are calculating your invoices, you're already using either a calculator or a system generated tool. So the likelihood of you committing error is close to zero. So it's a way it also enhances audit trail and increase transparency in transaction. So you know that what you are doing, the FRS is seeing it, and you don't want to play games with them. So it also boosts overall efficiency in the tax system, because I remember traveling to Johannesburg sometime last year, and I went while in Johannesburg, I did few shoppings, and a friend of mine told me to keep all those invoices that when I get to the airport, I'll use this to get a tax refund. I thought it was a joke. When I got to the airport, I was directed to a section at the airport, and I submitted those invoices to them. And when a few months later, because I actually dropped my Nigerian account, I got some naira, I got some funds back last year. And I thought within myself, when will Nigeria get to this level where everything will be digitalized? And I hope, as an optimistic Nigerian, I know we will get there. We are already, it's a step in the right direction.
Exactly.
I know we'll get there one day.
All right. Talking about we'll get there, but are there challenges in implementing this kind of policy at this point in time from Federal Land Revenue? So let's have your view on that. Challenges.
Of course, because there are a lot of challenges. You know, we talk with this. You know, like I said earlier, it's a tech thing, and it is system driven, and all this thing doesn't come cheap. So we talk about the initial cost of implementation, which is cost of software, cost of training. You know, the digital divide. You know, some organizations, some companies are in the remote area. I talk about the electricity too, because electricity and tech, they go hand in hand. You know, you have to have your server, like I said, the software, even the resistance to change too, because a lot of companies they've been used to the old order, the old way of doing things. You know, getting them to switch to this new model will require difficult. So that can be a challenge too, as well. And the need for a robust cybersecurity measure, you know, to protect sensitive data, because a lot of organizations will be very wary and pensive when it comes to releasing their data through the FRS or through the access point provider, the intermediary between the FRS.
Exactly.
And so a lot of them will be wary of releasing their sensitive. So these are the things the FRS needs to navigate and see through to ensure that, you know, the digitalization process is quite successful. So these are a few things because of time, these are the few things I want us to discuss.
Exactly. And interesting. And you know, if you are at this point in time, we also need to advise the private sector, the companies that will be involved in this filing of the taxes to the invoicing. But what will be your advice to those companies? Even though it's going to be another ways or cost intensive, but what would be your advice to them at this point in time?
I think my advice to them is to move with the trends. They should follow because I always say this, a tax, apart from cash flow, you have to be a very good corporate citizen. And how does your company become a corporate citizen? Is by you fulfilling and paying your tax, fulfilling your tax obligation and paying your taxes as at when due. So, like as I was saying, it's one of the things I would say is for the FRS, the companies to follow the FRS, to ask them questions, follow them on social media, and they should consult tax experts. They should consult people that are knowledgeable about these things. You know, there are a lot of tax experts around, which I'm one of them. They should consult the tax experts. These people will provide them guidance, and this will also reduce the unnecessary panic about this digitalization. Because to me, it's not really something serious, not something to be pensive or worry about or worried about. Thank you very much.
I'm talking about advice, of giving advice to the private sector, the companies, but don't you think we also need to advise FRS on this aspect in terms of advocacy, media advocacy, just like what we are doing for them for free right now? Should they also carry out media advocacy around this? Because even though they will say it has been here for some time, but at this point in time, we need sensitization and enlightenment, particularly for everybody to understand what this digitization is all about and invoicing. Let me have your view on that, sir.
I think they are already doing that. I think they are already doing that. They are doing that both on terrestrial channels and on social media. They are already doing that. If you go on YouTube, you see a lot of sensitization going on. If you go to their website, you see a lot of communicate, a lot of write-ups, a lot of articles. Even on LinkedIn, they are doing a lot, but we wouldn't want to commend them right now. We want to give them a nudge to do more.
Exactly.
So that this message will get across to more people. They need to double their effort to ensure that at least a larger proportion of businesses or individuals in Nigeria are aware of these things, and so that this will ensure that compliance will be voluntary, and it will also reduce the level of the resistance and tax evasion from the populace, because if you don't, a lot of people tend to be afraid of what they don't understand.
Exactly.
But if I understand something, it will be very easy for me to embrace that thing. So they should break it down in a very simple and understandable way, so that everybody will understand that this is not something to worry about. Thank you very much.
And talking about compliance, I won't let you go without asking you this question. Are there penalties for non-compliance from what you have seen so far that Federal Inland Revenue is doing, talking about this e-invoicing and digitizing Nigerian tax landscape?
There are lots of penalties. Even before the emergence of there have been penalties for non-compliance.
Exactly.
Like I said earlier, your tax payment, your tax compliance is an obligation. So you have to comply. You are obliged to pay your taxes as a responsible citizen of this country. So yeah, so there are penalties for non-compliance with the FRS regulation, which include fine, interest charges, potential legal actions. And it's also crucial for businesses to familiarize themselves with the regulation and ensure timely and accurate tax compliance. So it's like I said earlier, the onus is on the business, on all businesses, to ensure that they don't they are always they don't fall on the wrong side of the law, and they are trying to do the right thing at the right time.
Exactly. Interesting. Bamgboye, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know we are still expecting more from your understanding of Nigerian tax law in terms of your article that we normally come across on social media and educating Nigerians on that aspect. But I want you to also advise individual Nigerians who are yet to understand the essence of tax. Just in 1 minute, what is your advice to Nigerians who are yet to understand the essence of tax in Nigeria?
Like I said earlier, for individuals, it's been a trend. Even as a practitioner, I noticed that majority don't really pay taxes, especially except for those who are in paid employment. Majority don't pay taxes, except maybe they need it at the embassy, or they need it to collect. They need it for a contract, a proposal for a contract. When they are pursuing a contract. So like I said earlier, it's very important for you to, because that is one of the ways you can even hold the government the account. And I think I forgot to mention this earlier. For the companies too, being compliant is this invoice. Apart from being a tax compliant, is also a way of you keeping your records. You can keep your record instead of paper can be easily destroyed. But with the advent of this digitalization, your records can be there for the next 50 years. Nothing will happen to it. So that's one of the benefits of, you can easily call it up. But if you store it in paper form, there must be fire, there must be flooding. Anything can happen to those documents, and it's very difficult for you to have an audit trail of all those transactions. So that's one of the benefits.
Exactly.
Because everything is going digital. So my advice for people once again is to seek advice from practitioners, and even if it's free tips from experts on social media, just have a chartered accountant or a tax practitioner as a friend. So if you have any questions, you can always call on any one of them to advise you. But don't do it too much because they will charge you at the end of the day for their time is no more. Time is
Exactly,
money.
exactly. Thank you so much, Bamgboye, for your input and very interesting perspective you have brought on the issue of digitizing Nigerian tax landscape. Federal Inland Revenue is doing a lot in that regard, but Bamgboye has made us understand the simplicity around digitalization, the invoicing of tax aspect of Nigerian economy. Thank you so much, Bamgboye.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, so we hope to see you to still bring you on anytime we have issue in this regard of our topic.
No problem. I will be available.
All right,
Thank you
now.
very much.
All right, so enjoy the rest of your day over there in Lagos. I've been speaking with
You're welcome.
Bamgboye Adeniyi. You happen to be a tax, expert, managing partner at Empyrean Professional Service Limited, based in Lagos. Tax expert, economists and people putting papers together to be able to analyze tax in Nigeria. And for Federal Inland Revenue, kudos to them. They are going through a digitization of the Nigerian tax system. Our second point of discussion is national grid collapse, impact on businesses. Dr. Michael is standing by to join me right now so that we can extray this issue going forward.